let's just jump right into this. After spending something like 15 years deep in the world of startups, one thing becomes crystal clear. And it's probably not what you think. The toughest challenge, it's not the business plan, it's not the strategy, it's the personal change, the transformation that the leader has to go through. And yeah, this quote just nails it. The hardest part isn't the strategy, it's the metamorphosis. Think about that. You could have the most brilliant strategy on paper, but it's pretty much useless without this internal change. The real journey, the thing that will literally decide if your company lives or dies, is this deep fundamental transformation that has to happen inside you, the founder. So this really sets up a great way to think about it, a powerful metaphor. On one hand, you've got the flapping founder. This is all about sheer force of will, right? Constant, frenetic activity, basically just flapping like crazy trying not to hit the dirt. But then on the other side, you've got the soaring leader. This person isn't just flapping harder, no. They've figured out how to harness the thermals, how to build this fixed-wing architecture. They're reaching the stratosphere not through more effort, but through better design. So the big question is, how do you actually make that leap? How do you go from flapping to soaring? Well, this is the path. We're going to walk through 5 key stages, starting with what's called the founder's trap, then moving through killing your ego, aiming for altitude, hiring the right people, and finally hitting that final metamorphosis. All right, section 1, the founder's trap. And this is a big one. It's where so many early stage leaders just get stuck. It's this classic mistake, and it all comes down to a really simple but honestly really dangerous confusion. So, what is a flapping founder? Well, it's someone who falls into this trap of thinking, hey, if I'm working crazy hours, if I'm super busy, then the company must be making progress. Their own personal activity becomes the main way they measure success. Does that sound familiar at all? Here's the thing though, being busy is not the same as making progress. And that confusion, that's the cage. That's what keeps them flapping instead of soaring. So, okay, how do you get out of that trap? The answer feels, well, it feels totally wrong at first. You have to kill your ego. And that brings us to our second stage, moving from being a bottleneck to a system designer. You know that intense passion where your identity and the business are one and the same? That's what got you off the ground. But it's also the very thing that will hold you back. It's a trap. Because when you are the business, every single decision, every little problem has to come through you. And what does that make you? It makes you a bottleneck, the single point of failure. So the mental shift here is huge. You have to go from being the hero to being the architect. Stop being the chief problem solver, the one who swoops in to fix everything. That feels good, but it's just not scalable. Your new job is to be the chief system designer. Your job isn't to fix today's fire. It's to build a machine, a system that makes sure that kind of fire can't even start in the future. Okay, so once you start to detach your ego from the day-to-day firefighting, the next step is a major shift in perspective. You got to stop looking down at your feet and start looking way out at the horizon. It's all about trading that short-term velocity for a long-term vision. It's time to aim for altitude. And the difference between these two modes is it's night and day. A flapping founder, they're obsessed with velocity. It's all about that short-term kill, the next lead, the next feature, putting out whatever fire is burning brightest today. But a soaring leader, they optimize for altitude. They're thinking about things like governance, building what's called organizational alpha, which is basically the unique, sustainable edge you get from how your company operates. They're building that fixed-wing architecture, that permanent structure that lets the company truly glide. Which, of course, leads us right to our 4th section. You can't build that kind of permanent structure by yourself. It's impossible. This whole transformation hinges completely on the people you hire. It's about moving from hiring doers to hiring true architects. I love this quote. You don't want a team that waits for your signal. You want a team that builds the signal tower. Just let that sink in for a second. The goal isn't to have people looking to you for every answer. The goal is to have a team that builds the whole communication infrastructure themselves, so the company can operate and grow way beyond what you can personally handle. So here's the real difference in your hiring mentality. Doers are great. They're the people who can execute your vision, and you absolutely need them in the beginning. But to really scale, you need company builders. These aren't people who just follow your blueprint.
They're the ones who grab a pencil and help you design a better one. They build the machine that actually brings the vision to life.
And this all brings us to the final stage, Section 5, the final metamorphosis. And this is honestly the most profound part of the whole journey. This is where everything we've talked about comes together in a transformation that is, frankly, really hard, but absolutely necessary. So, check this out. The transition from founder to company builder is a death. Whoa. I know that sounds super dramatic, but it really gets to the heart of it. This isn't just about changing your title on LinkedIn. It's about a deep, fundamental letting go. The identity that got you here, that drove you for so long, that founder persona, it has to die. But here's the thing, this so-called death is really a rebirth. You have to consciously, intentionally let that scrappy, I'll-do-everything-myself founder persona fade away. Why? To make room for the leader of an institution to be born. That's the only way you're ever going to build something that truly lasts, something that outlives your own energy. So that leaves us with this final question, and it's a direct challenge for any founder, any leader listening right now. Take a really honest look at how you're operating. Are you still flapping? Are your wings just beating frantically to keep you from crashing? Or have you done the really hard work of building the wingspan, the systems, the team, the mindset that you need to truly soar? You know, this whole way of thinking, this whole framework, it comes from some deep reflections, 15 years worth from a serial entrepreneur. If any of this hit home for you and you want to dive deeper into these ideas, you should definitely check out the author's work. You can find more at israelbaran.org.